I'm going to welcome JP without further ado. Some of you know her. She's our National Executive Director. Jennifer Paslakis is her, well, that's not even her real name anymore. That's the funny part of it, right? She's married. She just got recently married. She's got the most loving, fun Southern accent. You're gonna just love her if you've never heard her talk. she's gonna work the fire out of us. That's one of her favorite things, is always using the word fire. And she knows that being on this call, you are all working towards more for your business. She's excited that you all want that. She's excited that all the directors on the call also are working towards that next level of leadership. She knows that you guys all want more from your business too. So we are excited because this is an exclusive call just for them. They get someone monthly and they're pretty excited to have you.
What?
You're doing what, 9?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I'm excited to be here, and I am sorry that I didn't get to make the last call. I got married, as Danielle said, and a work party came up that I did not know about. And so welcome to married life, right? Where you have to split your time with other people now. But I'm excited to be here. Danielle, how long is your call? We didn't even talk about your length.
You know, usually we do about an hour, but if it's less, that's fine too. There are some that for sure, they're on the 9 o'clock Cindy call. We have some new consultants who are rocking it, who are in here also. So, and they also know that I'm the live connect training tonight, even though it's pre-recorded. It gets launched at 9 also, but they all know that they can catch that recording and they can catch this recording. So whatever happens, to be honest.
Okay, well, good. Well, I'm excited to be here. And I asked Danielle, I said, like, what do you want me to talk about? They're already rock stars. You're a rock star. So what could I possibly talk about that she hasn't already shared with you? And so I do talk really, really fast. I thought I would introduce myself and tell you guys a little bit about me and where I'm at in my 31 journey. And then I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what your successes are that you're having in 31. Some of you, I'm looking around, some of you have been around for longer than others. And so the wisdom that I already see looking at your faces, I hope that you guys are taking time to share that and really utilize each other. The beauty of this business is that we can tell each other what we're doing. We can talk about money. We can talk about how you're going to make more money. We can talk about what you're spending your money on. And so at the end of the day, I have found over the years that the number one reason that people stay with 31, at the end of the day, it's about how much money you're making and if you're having a profit. Okay, so of course you love the sisterhood, you love the products, but based on what Danielle is telling me with this group, you're probably in it to make money, especially if you're looking to move up the career path. So we're going to talk a little bit about money too. But before I do that, I'm actually going to, I'm going to take my filter off of my screen so you guys can see what really happens behind the scenes with me sometimes, because people are always like, let me take that off. Sometimes people are always like, do you really like do products and parties? And yes, this is what is happening behind me. I have my setup to do a live party. So let me turn this around. There's my setup. There's my little light switch. Okay. I've got stuff over here that y'all don't see that's happening. So just like you guys, I am working in my business. The great thing about our company too is doesn't matter how far you go up the top, at the end of the day, you still have to book, sell, and recruit as well. Okay, so you'll never see a top level leader, and you're seeing that with Danielle, who is not doing the basics of the business still to this day. Some companies say, okay, once you get to the top, you don't have to sell anymore. I have to sell $1,000 every single month, just like they ask a new director to sell. Okay, so I want y'all to really understand how important that is for our company, is that there is no leader in this company that is not doing what they're expecting a brand new director to do. Okay, so when they tell you that to be a director, you want to sell a minimum of 1,000, I would tell you the key word for that is minimum. $1,000 is the minimum that you need to do each and every month. And with $1,000, you're going to make at least $250, right? So why would you ever miss out on that $250 paycheck? So that's the minimum that we hope that all new directors are making, because you're already getting into the groove of making that money because you're already selling 1,000 before you even get to the director level. Okay, so I know that really sounded a little scattered, but I want you guys to know that what I'm telling you is what I'm doing, and it's probably exactly what Danielle's doing, and that is booking, selling, and recruiting. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on a little bit just to some personal development, but let me take a minute to kind of brag on Danielle. I don't know if she takes the time to do that with you guys, but Danielle is an executive director. She joined back in 2012, so she will be celebrating her 10-year anniversary next year. So that's a big milestone. To be in business for 10 years, she's probably seen quite a bit. Okay, so listen to her because she's still here 10 years later. Sometimes they say those that got in early are lucky, but I can tell you those that got in early that are still here, it's because they're working. They have to sell the minimums just like everybody else. So our number one consultant, do you guys know who that is? Hopefully you know who that is. Put in the chat so I know the chat's working. If y'all know who the number one consultant is, I want to tell you, yeah, she's the number one consultant, but she is still selling every single month, just like we are. She is still doing everything that we're asking all of our leaders to do. So Tammy C, it's not Danielle. It's not Danielle. She's not the very first consultant. Who's the very first consultant? Not Megan. Y'all keep guessing. Danielle, you're probably seeing the chat too, I think. So who is the very first consultant? Does anybody know? Not Shelly. Not Shelly. Okay, I'm going to tell you who it is. Was anybody else has got it? No, the very first consultant is Jenny Hillenberg. Her consultant number is 1001. And I just want you guys to know she's still selling $1,000 every month. She's still recruiting. She's still partying. Matter of fact, I think she has 8 gift buyers clubs. So last time I was with her, she has 8. So she's doing what we are expecting our newest consultant to come in, and she's been around since 2003. Okay. Okay. So just so y'all know, Danielle is getting ready to celebrate her 10-year anniversary. And I actually pulled up her numbers before the call because I want you guys to know that since she has joined, she has sold $640,000. $640,000 since she's joined. So just to do the quick math, if somebody wanted to do the quick math, if I take $640,000 and multiply that just by the minimum that consultants make, she's made over $160,000 just from her own personal sales if we based it on the 25%. Of course, you guys know, as you move up the career path, you're going to make more money on your own personal. It's going to move up to 35%. Okay, so when you're a director, you don't ever want to miss that extra 10% on your sales, especially if you sold $640,000, right? So I want y'all to be aware of when you do get to directorship, you're going to get a 10% increase on your personal sales, and getting a 10% raise out in the real world is kind of a big deal, right? So it's a big deal at 31 as well. Since Danielle's joined, she has shared the 31 opportunity with 230 people. So Danielle, I don't know if you know this, but your next recruit is going to be number 231. She's going to be 231. So you tell us who she is so we can celebrate 231. Okay. So she also is sponsoring just like you guys. And when I looked at Danielle's numbers, the one thing I can tell you is she's never, ever, ever had a 0 beside her name. Never, single month since she's joined in her almost 10 years, she's never had a 0 beside her name. Every single month she is showing up in her business. And I preach that, and I preach that because I'm like, we get paid twice a month. Why would you ever have a 0 beside your name? There is no company in this world that would be open for business for a whole month and not want sales. And just like you guys are business owners, just like everybody else that is out there trying to make a profit, don't ever show up any month with a 0. When Danielle runs her reports at the end of the month, I'm really putting pressure on y'all, but when she runs her reports at the end of the month, don't let there be a 0 beside your name. From this point forward, commit to never having a 0 beside your name. Commit to taking a little bit step further and making sure you have sales between the 1st and the 15th in the month and the 16th and the last day, because we get paid twice a month. And I don't know if y'all have had career path and payday kind of training, but whatever you submit the 1st through the 15th, you get paid on Christmas Day this year. Well, you get paid on the 25th. So you guys know the 25th is a big deal this month because it's Christmas, right? So I want you to look at your sales. I want you guys to do this. And this is just a safe place. I want you guys to go look at your sales. And in the chat feature, I want you to tell me what your sales are for December. So far for the month of December, what are your sales? Put it in the comment. I know you probably have to look it up. That's okay. But if you have got sales in, that means you're going to get a Christmas paycheck. Okay, you're going to get a Christmas paycheck. And so when the 15th is over, you don't want to stop. You don't want to have nothing between the 16th and the last day of the month because you want to get that January 10th paycheck. There's always a paycheck to earn, always a paycheck to earn. Okay, so Jessica, I see yours 606. So $606, you're gonna be at least making $150. What could that $150 do for you? It could buy groceries for the month. Maybe it could buy all the supplies to bake cookies and candy. Maybe it's going to pay your electricity bill. I don't know what you're going to do with that $150, but what if you didn't have any sales this month? What if you had nothing? And here comes around December. I think we're actually going to get paid on the 23rd because it's on a holiday. But what would you do with that money, right? You're going to do something pretty great with it. Let's look. Tracy, I love your response. You put 610 PV plus the team. So she knows that she's also going to make money on her team, right? So that's the big reason that you guys are on these rising leader calls and investing in your businesses, because you know that there's also money to be made on your team. So do what Danielle is suggesting you guys do, and you guys will start leading a team just like she is leading. Okay. Shannon Sawyer is 1280. Okay. So what is that? What's 12? Well, let me just do the math there. What's 1280 times 25? And of course, you may have team sales on that as well. So that's $320. $320 on 1280. That's just your 25%. Now, if you're a director, you're going to make 35%. Okay, so you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, don't ever miss a paycheck. Don't ever have a zero beside your name. They're willing to pay us twice a month. So are you willing to submit sales the first of the month and the last part of the month? So I know our Christmas deadline is over. I know that guaranteed Christmas delivery is over, but that doesn't mean that your sales stop. That doesn't mean you're like close the doors. Could you imagine if Walmart or Kroger's or I forgot what y'all said, Macy's, all those stores close their doors once they can't guarantee Christmas delivery? They would put themselves out of business. Don't do that. Don't close your doors. Okay. Okay. So I tell you what, you guys, tell you all this to say that it's really consistency. It is really showing up in your business every day. You may not get a sale every single day, but hopefully you've made a connection every single day. And so I look at Shannon behind her. She's got a big C on that pocket behind her. And I think about that C because I'm thinking, okay, what are 3 things? Like, I love this. This just kind of sparked my inspiration here. But C could be number 1. It could be connect. And so how are you going to stay connected? Gosh, Shannon, that was meant to be placed there. I kind of had forgotten about this, but C can stand for connect. Okay, so how are you guys going to stay connected the second half of this month? How are you going to show up? Are you going to connect with each other? Yeah, you are. You're on this call. Are you going to connect with your customers? And maybe it's not a sales reach out. Maybe it's just a connection of Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday that you celebrate. Maybe that's something you're going to do is show up and connect with those friends and customers that way. Okay, so I want you guys to know that your business is always open. Whether you're in it or not, your business is open. If you have a website, it's 24/7. You can choose to stay closed. Like let's say you go to the nail salon and you don't want to talk to anybody. You could totally open a book and like have your nose in it and not talk to anybody. Or you could put the book down and try to connect with the people around you. So you get to choose whether your business is open or closed in person, but your website is 24/7, right? Okay, so the second C, gosh, is create. I want you guys to think about how you're creating an environment in your business that you want to be in. If your business is stressing you out, if it is a business that's not bringing joy to you, then you need to create a different environment. And I see that all the time. People feel like they've got burnout or that they just aren't having fun. They don't have joy in their business. You're the business owner. You are the CEO, just like any other CEO is. You have to create the environment for the employees. Well, guess what? You're your employee. So you get to have a coffee bar if you want a coffee bar. You get to wear your pajamas all day if you want to wear your pajamas. Create the environment that you want to be in your business. It'll be more enjoyable when you're there. Does that make sense? I look around you guys like Tammy's got all those teddy bears behind her. Cassie's got her baby in her lap. Like, you can create the environment that you want, okay, because you are a business owner. Tammy and Tracy are drinking. I don't know what's in their coffee there, but they're drinking. So if you want to drink, drink, okay? So I love that you guys are in complete control of your business. Okay, So the other thing I want to tell you guys is that you have to coexist with each other, right? You're on the same team. Nobody's better than the other. You guys all can learn from each other. We have to coexist, especially when you're entrepreneurs. We've got a big sisterhood at 31. And the great thing about this company is that we all like to share. We share our graphics, we share our ideas, we share what we're doing in our gift clubs. I mean, so you have to coexist with each other, but I hope you're choosing to coexist with your team members, because that is the biggest reason that people sometimes will stay a little longer, because of the sisterhood. Okay, so of course we want you to get connected, we want you to create a great environment, but we also want you to coexist with each other and make some friendships. Okay, some of my best friends are as a result of me being in 31. I love that you guys are all on this call together. So I'm gonna give you guys another challenge. So over in the little in the chat field, I want you to tell me something personal about you that has nothing to do with 31. It could be if you have a full-time job, it could be how many kids you have, it could be your favorite thing to drink. I don't care what it is. Tell me something personal. Okay. You guys are thinking here. Sometimes this is a hard thing to talk about yourself. And Daniel, I hope this is okay. I'm just talking kind of what's on my heart tonight. Okay, good. Shannon threw me off with that C. It got me thinking. Okay, so I'm a full-time school social worker. I love that, Tracy. So mental health probably is at the top of your awareness right now. So 31 gives, it probably speaks to you. Tammy, I'm a middle school special education teacher. Tammy, I hope you and Tracy have shared ideas, both being teachers. Hopefully you guys are sharing ideas. Shannon, you live on a boat?
We actually met when she was a social worker in the district where I teach. And that's all, and we're best friends. She's my bestie.
Oh, y'all both drank at the same time. So I bet there was a key word. Some of my girls do that when I say a word, they all like know the key word before and they drink. Y'all drank at the exact same time.
Tracy is the one that offered the opportunity to me too.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are sharing some of your things over here. So I want to talk a little bit about personal development, and these are the things that sometimes gets put to the wayside because we are so focused on book sale recruit. We don't always think about how we're going to develop ourselves beyond that. And so one of the biggest things I will tell you guys that I always tell my leaders to do is to master their story. We talk a lot about your why you joined, why you're doing this, why you're doing it, but what is your story? Okay, so we've talked about our 31-second commercial before. You guys have probably heard about that, but I'm going to share with you my 31-second commercial, but I'm going to give you a formula. And I don't know if y'all have done this training with me or Danielle before, but my formula is, and y'all want y'all to write these three things down. These are 3 B's, okay? Before 31, because of 31, and I believe. Okay, so before, because, and believe. So let me tell you my commercial, okay? Before 31, I worked full-time in the corporate world. I worked in a cubicle, working 70 hours a week doing estate tax. Because of 31, I was able to leave my corporate job and become a full-time stay-at-home mom. I believe that 31 can be an opportunity for anyone looking to change career, for a fun hobby, or just to meet new people. Okay, so it can be that quick, but you can also elaborate on that. You guys, before 31, I truly worked in a full-time corporate environment. I went to college, I got my degree, I had my CPA, so I worked out in the taxation. I would work 70 hours a week. I did estate tax planning, and you never could predict when someone would die, right? So I wasn't necessarily restricted to April 15th deadline. I was restricted to when people passed away. But 31 came into my life, and because of 31, I saw this opportunity to be able to stay at home with my 18-month-old daughter, who is now 15. Her name is Molly Kate. But because of 31, I was able to put my business skills into my own home-based business. And because of that, I was able to leave my full-time job. I did not have to return back to that cubicle. And my life goal now is to never go back to a 4x4 cubicle. I totally believe in 31 product. I believe in the sisterhood. I believe that it can be an opportunity for anyone that's interested in working hard and being part of a company that's faith-based. So do you see how I changed that? I had a 31-second commercial. So if you're in a networking event or if you're at a party, you can do that before 31. And so it could be before 31. Let's see. I'm looking at one of you guys's. Okay, so here's Heather's. All I know is that she was a full-time at a dentist office. Okay, so before 31, I worked at a full-time dentist office, and I heard of 31. One of my clients brought in a catalog, and because of 31, now I'm actually a full-time dentist. I'm totally botching your story here, Heather, but because of 31, I'm still being a full-time employee at a dental office, but because of 31, now I get to have a fun side job that helps pay for those extras. I believe that you can balance a full-time job and a full-time fun hobby at the same time. Okay, so I can look at any of your stories, and you may not have quit your job, but talk about before 31, I worked full-time at a dentist office, worked 40 hours a week. I would come home and maybe I didn't have anything fun to do, but because of 31, now I have something just for me that allows me to get out and meet new people and also make some side money. I believe in our products, and I believe that there is something in our catalog for everybody. So do you see how you can take what you guys just wrote and you can do your 31-second commercial before, because, and I believe, but then you can take that exact same thing and elaborate on it. So if you're in a coffee shop with a potential recruit, or maybe someone says, tell me a little bit more, then you've got your longer version of it. Okay. Does anybody want to try that? Does anybody want to try a 31-second commercial? Your 31-second commercial just gives you a little tidbit. And then the longer, the mastering the part of it is a little bit longer that you're going to share in maybe more of a smaller group. Jessica? Okay, you have to, yeah.
Okay, so I'll do mine. Before 31, bills were hard to pay. Because of 31, we can pay our bills and pay for club softball and baseball and club basketball for both kids. I believe you can work and still have your fun time and a sisterhood.
I love it. I love it. So tell me your a little bit longer story. So that's your 31-second commercial. You would do at a networking event or on an elevator or in an introduction to a party. But how would you elaborate that story? Tell us more. We all want to know more now.
I'm not that far. I don't know yet.
Did I froze? Did you guys freeze?
You're not frozen here. We can see
Oh.
you.
There it goes. It like everybody's face is frozen.
Okay.
Okay, Jessica, I want you to keep working on it, okay? But if you guys can really take time to master your story, that is what's going to get people to refer you. That's what's going to get people to remember you. That's what's going to get people when someone says out on Facebook, hey, does anybody know that sells 31? They're going to immediately tag you because they know your story. It's hard sometimes to remember people's names when you've met them one time at a party, or if you've met them one time at a ball field or a networking event. But when you can master that story and pull on those heartstrings a little bit more, they're going to remember it. So now y'all know before 31, Jessica was struggling to pay some of her bills. Her kids sound like they're very involved and very outgoing and doing sports. And 31 has allowed her to help financially in her family. And how many women do you think will remember that when they say, hey, does anybody know a 31 consultant? They're going to remember Jessica's story, that it's making an impact. And you guys have all seen those graphics during Small Business Saturday, where it said, when you order from a small business owner, there's an actual person doing a dance. Jessica's going to be doing that dance, and we're going to do that dance when someone utilizes her, when we refer her, because you're going to give that person credit and say, thank you, Danielle, for referring Tracy to me. It really impacted my family. And I sign that a lot on all my cards. In my thank you cards, I'll say, thank you so much for your order. It really impacted my family this season. I've signed that on every one of my cards this season. Okay, so mastering your story, and we could do a whole mastering story class. We could do a whole workshop on it. But if you will use that format before 31, because of 31, I believe. And that I believe part is your closing. That's the strongest part. I believe because of 31, you can go back to that, because I believe because of 31, I would not be where I'm at now. My confidence is higher, my bills are getting paid, and I've got some of my best girlfriends that I never would have had. Okay, so what is your because? Your because, that's going to lead you into your belief, because you're going to know that other people can seek that. But maybe you weren't struggling to pay your bills, but you know Jessica's story. I believe 31 can be the financial opportunity that many of my friends need. Okay. Is this helpful? Okay. So take time to master your story. Okay. So we're doing the book selling, recruiting. We're doing everything 31's telling us to do. Now we're taking it a little bit into our own hands by telling our story. Sometimes women get up and they'll want to tell the 31 story. The first consultant was Jenny Hillenberg. The founder is Cindy Monroe. This is the name of the company, where the name came from. We tell the story of the company. We love 31 story, but we don't always do that with our own story. And so I really want you guys to remember, the next time you're in front of somebody, they want to hear your story, not Jenny Hillenberg's, not Cindy Monroe's. Okay. Okay. So let's take it to that next level. And the next thing is mastering your customer service. Customer service can be made up of so many different things. The number one thing is making sure they know your story. So I think you guys have probably all seen my social media, which I was looking for, see where is that, my secret formula. Jessica or Danielle, have you shared this with them before? Have I done this with you guys? Can you see that?
I think so. Yeah, I've done it, but I don't think so.
Okay, I will give this to you, but this is my 7 steps. I'll take a picture and send it to you guys, but this is my 7 steps to social media that I do without fail every single week. Okay, and these are the things that I post about, and one of them is always something about you. That's part of mastering your story, is making sure that you're telling your story, and mastering that customer service. Part of that is making sure that they know your story. Okay, you guys all know Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. You all know that story, right? It's a faith-based company. You guys all know that 31 is named after Proverbs 31. If your customers had to repeat something about you, what would it be? Would it be she's available 24/7 and this is all she does? Or would they know 31's making an impact on her family finances and children's activities? Okay. So every single week, I want you guys to look at your social media calendar, and I want to make sure every single week you post at least one thing that extends your story. It could be, I see Cassie right now with the baby in the background. Maybe, Cassie, you take a picture. Like, here's one for you. You take a picture right now, a screenshot, but tell us first so we can smile, okay? Take a picture of that baby in the background, and you go post that on your customer group and say, you know, one of the greatest things about 31 is that my baby can be in the Zoom calls. Because how many of you guys have corporate jobs where the baby has to be out of the room? Like, gotta be quiet. We don't care. You can hit mute, and we love looking at the baby, right? So doing little things like that every single week and sharing in your story, you're going to attract other people that want what you have. Okay, they're going to want to be able to have their baby in the background. They're going to want to have their cat in the background. I saw your cat, Jessica. They're going to want that. Okay, so every single week, post something that is an extension of your story. So I don't know what that is for some of you guys, but if you got ideas, I'd love to know what it is. But sometimes you have to be very strategic about it. Sometimes it'll just be an immediate thought, like, oh my gosh, let me take a screenshot of this Zoom call and post that and share with my customers. Look, see, the baby keeps popping in. Cassie, I can't stand it. And now I got to see the baby. Yeah. So move your camera over, take you completely out, take the picture and say, guess who's leading my team, my 31 team Zoom call tonight? That's the perfect post right now to share with your customers. Okay. Tag us in it. Okay. Shannon, I need to post about the dogs though in the semi. Well, yeah, everybody wants to know about the semi. I don't know that story, but I think that if you guys could be creative, people want to know that. Tammy, they want to see your dog. So get your dog there, put the ears on the dog and post that on your customer group and say, guess who's leading our Zoom call, our holiday Zoom call tonight? Like, you can totally have fun with it. Oh my gosh, so stinking cute, right? Okay, so your customers want to feel connected to you and vice versa. You've got to connect to them. Oh, she's taking it. Y'all smile. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. I love it. Have fun with sharing your story. Okay. So I know I'm beating this like a dead horse, but I'm telling y'all, this is one of the most important things that you can do is to be memorable. Okay. So write that on your paper, be memorable, make people remember you. And they will remember that dog with those Christmas tree ears on. I guarantee they will all start laughing. And you can make it you can totally post it to me like, guess who's leading the Zoom call tonight? I'd love to see pictures of your pups and what they're doing. Have you dressed them up for Christmas? Like, ask them to engage back with you. People always want to share their babies and their dogs, okay, and cats. So, okay. But I want you guys to think about how you're going to grow in 2022. So we're going to master our story. We're going to master telling our story to our customers so you become memorable. But how are you guys going to grow in 2022? So you can do all the things. You can book, sell, recruit, share your story. But what is it going to feel like for you to say, I've grown this year? Is it needing more training? Is it needing more sisterhood? Is it growing because you now have maybe 30 customers that are in your gift buyers club? You have to define the word grow, because we can totally look at your numbers and say, oh my gosh, she sold over $600,000 this year. She's done this, she sold more than she did the year before. She's got more ribbons. But how are you going to define your personal development growth? Are you more confident in telling your stories? Do you feel more confident that people know your story? Did you get more referrals this year? What is going to be your definition of feeling like, you know what, this year I really grew as a business owner? Okay. I can look at your numbers all day long, but I want y'all to think internally what that feels like. Okay, so Daniel, I know that's a lot, but I really feel like that kind of goes back to the heart of being a business owner. And because you are your own business owners, stop telling the 31 story, start telling yours and mastering your story, mastering these little snippets that you're sharing. If you're paying for, Jessica, if you're paying for the kids' activities, take a picture of their cleats at the back door and say, I'm so thankful. Put a 31 tote in the background, but I'm so thankful that 31 is paying for my child's, travel ball. Okay. Be intentional about sharing that story over and over and over. It's like CNN News. They tell the same story over and over and over, or Fox News, whichever one y'all like. I don't care. Whichever one y'all watch, they tell the same story over and over and over because they know not everybody's listening the first time. Okay. Okay. So Daniel, that was a lot, but I hope it really gets the wheels turning. But
It should. I have call to action for sure for you ladies, because week 6 didn't get posted and you have a week off to get caught up. My call to action is I want a voice recording or a video of both your 31-second version and your extended version of the before, because I believe that's a perfect. We've done the why. Some of you have done pre this term of Shoot for the Moon. You've done the why I joined and why I stayed. But like she said, this is different. So it can be voice recorder, it can be video, either one, but just it's you practicing. And I'm not saying that that's the one you use over and over again, because this needs to be organic. This has got to be something that you definitely are very comfortable doing with the person in the line at the grocery store and the ball game and all the places. But I want you to start thinking about what it is, and it evolves. It'll change, just like your why. Like that's okay too. But I want you to get used to it. So that's a definite call to action. It was awesome.
Good.
So takeaways, questions.
Can I share my screen? Because I can send you
Should
something.
be able to. Let me see. I might have to do a thing. Hang on.
I have a worksheet that I will send you guys, because I when I did my rising leaders, this is actually our number one call. Is I need you to tell me your story. I need to know your story. So I have a worksheet that I can share. If not, it's old, but it's tried and true.
See if you can share now. Did it? I think I just fixed it so you can. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my commercial, and I will send this to you, Danielle, so you can share with these girls.
Perfect.
But it truly is before 31, and you can fill it in. So if she's giving you guys a challenge, my very first challenge for my rising stars was I want to know your story. And a lot of times we have our why, and our why is, I'll tell you, my why is to have a fun and flexible job that provides income. That's my why. Fun and flexible job that provides income. But when you talk about your story, you want to really make sure that you're hitting the points and this before, because then I believe truly is a good format if you don't know where to start. Okay. So I love your call to action is to get them to, because you need to tell people, tell people. So good.
Okay, questions, other ahas. I want to hear from you guys too. Now's your chance. Ask her anything.
And y'all can ask me anything. Doesn't even have to be about tonight. Let me say one thing before y'all ask me anything. Daniel introduced me as your national executive director. Well, I will tell you this month, I actually stepped back to senior executive director. So as we grow as a company, as we have had growing pains, I have lost several leaders that had to go back to work, or they chose to go other companies. I mean, we see this in any industry, we see people come and go. And so I do not have enough directors to be an NED, and maybe one day I'll be back at that level, but I know that 31 can be a season for leaders and be exactly what they need at that moment. But I'm a senior executive director, and I'm still doing everything I was doing. Nothing's changing for me. My title is changing, but I will tell you my title still is to be a mom and to have a home-based business.
And you'll always be our NED. Like you said, it's just a title. We know how hard you work. Those of us that are directors, we see you. Like, this girl doesn't just sell her 1,000. Like, she started off the video showing you her background, and it doesn't just come easy. She doesn't, like I said, it's so easy for us to think like, oh, they're just getting the orders from the random people. And nope, she is still partying. She is still doing all the things. She still trains. She still works her team. She does all of the things. She's an amazing leader to leaders. So while you've got less underneath you directly, she's got so many of us underneath those, and we all love her. She's amazing.
Well, and I just feel like we're one big, like our lineage, I will tell you, we have a very unique lineage that we all kind of just like each other. Like, we don't have some of the problems that other lineages have. I don't have to be a room mom. And so I tell you guys that from the very beginning, this is what's expected, and you create your environment. Be nice to each other, share your ideas. Like, I came from a corporate world where we could not share our paychecks. We could not talk about our raises. I'm telling you guys right now, Tiffany's saying yes, if you could get fired for sharing your paycheck. I'm telling you guys right now, when you promote to a leader, you're going to get a 10% pay increase. That it's common. Like, you become a director, you're making 35%, so there is no place, I think, in this world that is quite like direct sales. You find the product that you love, and there's tons of them. But I will tell you guys, our stuff is not spillable. It's not breakable. It's not going to make your face break out. It's one size fits all. Like, I truly do believe that we have the product that anyone could make a business out of. And I don't want to come home and do a bunch of dishes. I don't want to come home and wash out, a bunch of makeup brushes. And I use all direct sales companies. I try very hard to buy most of my stuff from direct sales. But I will tell you, the 31 is the right product for me because of its ease, because of its, it goes across the board. Sorry, y'all ask questions.
No, that's okay. I'm going to add one more thing, and then I'll let them too, because my huge takeaway that I love that kind of goes hand in hand with what you're talking about is that creating your own environment. And like, I know, like, she's talking about, like, obviously the immediate environment that we're in, right? But that's just like, that was like because it's so true, right? Like, we have the beauty of that in every single aspect, from like who you're partying with, who's joining your team, what your living space looks like, what your office looks like. Like, that is an amazing thing in itself. And it's so easy to get down in those valleys too, like Tracy and Jessica and Shannon and all of us that have been around for a while can nod their head, like, we've been there too, right? But at the end of the day, we can create that new environment that says, all right, I don't want to be in the valley anymore. What do I got to do? Help me out. And you're reaching to those friends, right? And that is the amazing part that brings it back to that sisterhood, right? So to me, I love that verbiage. Like, I love that to think about for myself and for you guys, and even as a recruiting like aspect of it. Like, that's a really key thing when you think about that. Every single aspect of this job we have the control to create the environment. You don't have that in your cubicle. You don't have that, like JP just said, to even just share your paycheck, let alone just admit that, like, okay, this idea didn't work. Like, I see everybody doing this club thing, and these clubs aren't happening for me. What the heck, right? Like, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Like, you can talk about it all and then change the environment and create it. So anyways, I also want you to ask questions, but I just thought that was huge, and I hope that that's a big takeaway for you guys too.
Good.
I have a question, Jen. So I have 3 recruits, and well, actually I have 4, but I am struggling. Tracy's been helping me trying to get these people to Pika. One of them is just completely ghosted both of us, not responding. How do you work with that? I mean, Tracy, like I said, Tracy's gone through stuff. I've gone through. We've done everything we can. We've done 2 launch parties for them, and they're just, I mean, they were so excited when they joined. They were ready to go. You know, I want to be, you know, I want to promote and this, and now it's like crickets.
Mhm.
Any suggestions?
Well, I can tell you that that's normal. Okay, so first of all, just know that that's normal. There's an old saying at 31 that a third is coming in, a third is staying, and a third is leaving. And sometimes they skip the staying and they're coming in and they're going out, you know, within those 4 months that we allow them to come in. And so that is very normal. Direct sales is not for everybody. And I think that sometimes, I'm just speaking for my own personal, sometimes when they come in, we overwhelm them. We send them to TOT, we add them to all the Facebook groups. We say, launch your party. We say, set up a link. Like, I have had to pump my brakes a little bit. And I know that once I started doing that, I started building that relationship a little bit more and actually getting a 2-way street instead of me just telling them all this stuff to do. And so I think that in the beginning, like, I've gotten to where I don't even send them anywhere until I've actually kind of had a couple of conversations with them. And so if you were joining my team, I know they're getting an email from home office welcoming them to tell them what to do. You're probably messaging them. Tracy may be messaging them. That we're adding them to team pages, multiple team pages. We're adding them to the pink bubble. We're adding them to all this stuff. They're just overwhelmed. And what is that saying? Something about a confused mind shuts down. I forgot what the saying is, but that is exactly what's happening. And I know we've been talking about it at the home office because now they're wanting to start texting consultants. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we've got to get to know their story first. And so when you have a new girl that joins, you know, if you were joining my team, I'd be like, Tammy, I'm so excited that you joined 31, you're starting. And I try to say started your 31 business instead of trying to use more businessy language. That way that it kind of sets that expectations. I'd be like, Tammy, I'm so excited that you started your own 31 business. How did you meet Tracy? I don't tell her join this team. I don't give her some new consultant packet. I truly have stopped doing all that because I just want her to talk to me, you know, but if I start putting all these demands on her, she shuts down. And so I'll be like, how did you meet Tracy? And she'll write back and say, oh my gosh, me and Tammy worked together, or we met at, a school district meeting or whatever. I'll be like, oh, that's great. We'll try. And then I will lift Tracy. I'll say, Tracy's been around since 2010, and she has been one of the top sellers in our lineage. Or, we'll lift her sponsor. So if there's a sponsor, I try to lift that sponsor first. And then I will immediately say, have you thought about when you're holding your launch party? And so that's the first question that I go right to when it comes to business is, have you thought about when you're having your launch party? I don't say, let me tell you about a launch party. Let's get you started on a launch party or blah, blah. I say, when is it? Have you thought about it? And so she might write back and say, yeah, I thought that I would do maybe, and then, once I get my kit. A lot of times that's what I hear back. Once I get my kit, I want to set something up. And then I'll respond back and I will say, my most successful consultants are those that do that launch party right away. So I'm excited to hear that you're thinking about it. Okay, so I don't try to rush you. I say, I'm excited to hear that you're thinking about it. And then I'll say, when is a good time for us to just chat for a minute? And I'll make sure that we get that launch party set up so you're ready when that kit arrives. She's already told me when she's having it. She's having it when that kit comes in. So let's chat a minute. Let's go ahead and get it set up so you're ready to go when that kit arrives. So she's kind of put the expectation back on me that she ain't gonna do crap until she gets that kit. Okay, so that comes back to that pink box picture too. Send me a picture of you in your pink box when you get it. I can't wait to celebrate you on the team page. So a lot of times I don't even welcome them on the team page until they've sent me a picture of their pink box, because we're overwhelming them so much. So I'm just saying this for me. Now, home office may tell you something totally different. But, you know, if I can get her on the phone for just a couple of minutes, I will do maybe a 30-minute welcome call where I actually show her on TOT, here's your start swell. Like, okay, this is the graph. Do you see it moving? You know, and make sure she knows those dates. And I'll say our number one priority is to make sure you earn all of the AMP Jumpstart rewards. It's going to feel great to earn 5 new products for your kid, isn't it? And, you know, so then, you know, kind of getting her dreaming a little bit about it. So I think that if you can baby step her instead of just vomiting all the groups, all the information on her, she's not going to shut down. She's excited. But if we start throwing a bunch of training, we don't even know what her training style is yet. We don't know if she's a reader. We don't know if she's a visual. We don't know if she's hands-on. But we throw everything on her and expect her to absorb it and do it. Okay, so I would tell you to get to know her story, get to know her, and she's going to trust you a little bit. She's waving, keep waving.
Thank you. That makes so much sense. It really does.
So tell me, let me ask you this: what is your when you get an alert that says, "Hey, someone joined"? What's the first thing you do? What is the very first thing that you do?
I text them or message them on Facebook and say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you decided to join. And like you said, we shouldn't do, okay, we're going to get you in this group and this group. And then, hey, we need to talk about your launch party. And you know what? It makes perfect sense that it is overwhelming because all the people that have joined all have other jobs, full-time jobs. And it's like a huge light bulb just went off when you said we're overwhelming them. And I can totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
I totally see that. And it makes so much sense now that, yeah, I mean, I've got 3 of them that just joined recently. No, yeah, 3. One of them was a rejoin. One of them, he was thinking about joining for a little while and he joined. And then the other one was well, actually I had 2 of them that rejoined. So the 2 that rejoined, one of them that rejoined said, I don't want to do a launch party. I know what I'm doing. And she'd done it for a while. So we didn't talk about a launch party. And then the other one that rejoined was really excited. And now it's kind of like out in the wind. And the other one has other things that he's got going on, but he has been, you know, saying for a while, he was talking to Tracy and she was working with him, coaching him and, you know, hey, let's get your launch party doing. She did 2 launch parties for 2 of these people. And they just kind of, I don't know if they got overwhelmed with other things going on with life or what, but I think you're right. We probably just overwhelmed them. Just, oh, you're in this group and you got to do this and need to do the, and as a special ed teacher, I probably should have realized that I'm just overwhelming these people that, you know, we need to kind of pare it down a little bit. But like I said, it makes perfect sense now. And I think that's really a good strategy to go forward with. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Well, do you know what you just said to me? You said, I don't know why they're not doing anything. I don't know if they're getting overwhelmed with jobs or I don't know if they're getting overwhelmed with what's going on. They're overwhelmed with 31.
Yes, exactly.
So when you think about it, I was trying to share my screen. I have found that, okay, let me pull this over here. Oh shoot, that's the wrong thing.
That's cute.
It's so cute though.
Okay, do y'all see that? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see 4 cute pictures of you.
Okay, so when someone joins my team, I send them a text message and I would say, hey Tammy, I'm so excited to hear you started your own 31 business. What enticed you to join?
Okay.
That's what I asked. And I just looked at my project, like I've got I don't know if y'all use Project Broadcast, but the first question I say is what enticed you to join? So I sent him a picture of me because I want to look like a real person. I took this at conference last year or maybe a couple of years ago. But go get a fun hat. You've got those freaking cute little headbands on right now with the Christmas tree. So for December, I mean, take a picture of you, or part of your story is, or I will say part of my story is, I didn't get to wear anything pink in the corporate world. I was wearing pantyhose working in a cubicle. So like this, so part of my story is I don't have to wear pantyhose, you know? And so part of your story is you're a teacher and you get to wear fun pajamas to school, and you got all these themes, you know? So whatever your story is, put that in that welcome picture. So you're not telling them, hey, I'm a teacher. You're not telling anything. Take a cute picture of you holding that puppy with your things on, and for your December recruits, you know, like, you know, hey, I'm so excited that, to see that you started your own 31 business. I can't wait to hear your story. What enticed you to join? Was it the headgear? Like, you know, make fun of yourself. So ask them before you vomit on them. Ask,
Okay.
get something back. Ask, get something back. Don't be like, give. You need something from them. It's a two-way street. Okay.
Well,
Thank
and
you
I'm gonna,
so much.
thank you. What I'm gonna add too, that like my wheels start spinning when I think about and I'm listening to, is that the more that we're asking right away, there's a lot of us that have girls and or men who don't want to do any of it. And we're not asking enough. And so we're also going to quit wasting time, and you're going to be able to bless and release that much earlier. Those consultants also, those ones that are just right away going to that 1/3 out the door, right? Like, because we're all going to get those from time to time too. Yeah. And I think the way, again, when you're just bombarding them, it's all the more reason that they're going to say no. Now, you might be able to carry a conversation and get them to turn still. I'm not saying give up and don't try, but you're going to know that much quicker too when you're taking JP's approach more of asking, like what even drew you to it, right? Like getting through some of those hurdles right away, so that you are less frustrated and you just know right away, like, this isn't going to be it, that she's not going to be Vika. This isn't going to happen right now. Maybe later we'll revisit it. I'm not going to give up on it, just like I wouldn't a recruit, right? But so just another little part to it to think about, you guys, because
have you ever done the race to the queue? Have you ever talked to them about race to the queue?
Not. Nope.
Well, I can share another thing that has gotten the competitive girls, the goal getters, a little bit more engaged once I figure out who they are, is kind of that race to the queue. So race to queue stands for qualified, but I will tell y'all that I was working really hard on earning the trip to Rome. So we had an executive director and above trip that was never before offered. And honestly, I thought it was too hard to reach. I wasn't even working for it. But then I got married, this cute little boy, and I was like, I want to take him to Rome. So I went live. You guys, I went live on my customer group. And I said, you guys, I have never shared with you guys something this big because it's never been offered before. I shared from my heart. Like, I was like, y'all, I didn't even think that it was possible until 31 sent me this in the mail. It's a mouse pad. They sent these to us in the mail. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want this trip. And I went to my customer group and I said, you guys, I have never told y'all anything that I was working for outside of income. I said, but I'm going to share with you, they just offered one of the biggest incentives that they've ever offered. And here's how I'm going to get there. I need to have 12 people to partner with me to start their own 31 business. And part of that partnership is me helping you get to the finish line. And our finish line is getting you $1,000 in sales under your belt and earning yourself a $250 paycheck. I needed 12 people to earn $250 paychecks. And so I shared that. I shared it with what they're getting out of it from that aspect. And so if you're not talking about that $1,000, because you said pikas, you want pikas. So if you're wanting them to get a pika, well, then share with them what they're going to get out of it. You want a pika for ribbons, you want a pika for this, but when you hit 1,000, when you join my team, so I'm like, Tammy, my most successful consultants are those that do start strong and they set their goal to do $1,000 in 30 days. And the way that we're going to get you to $1,000 is by doing a couple of parties. Of course, I want you to do your own launch party, but I also want you to think about who that first friend is that's going to help you launch your business. Between you and your friend, you're going to have $1,000 in 30 days. You're going to earn 2 free products from me, and you're also going to earn $250 in commission. Is that something that you want me to help you work towards? I say that. Is that something you want me to help you work towards? And so I say, okay. And they'll say, yeah. I say, okay, well, I want you to think about when your launch party is going to be. When is a good time for you to do it? So we're getting into the meat of the conversation. And so I will add them to what I call the race to the queue. Now I changed it. I'm going to share this, but I'll say I'm going to add you to the other girls that have started around the same time, and I want to show you what's happening and what's possible when you partner with me. Okay, so this is my race to the queue, but it was really race to Rome. Oh shoot, y'all see that I'm not great at this. Where did it go? Did I just delete it? See, this is the problem with having all these tabs open. Why is it not opening? There it goes. Sorry. Okay, y'all see this now? So I have this, it was my race to the queue, but I romized it. I romized it instead of romancing it. Y'all get it? Kind of dorky, I know, but okay. So I added all these girls here. And so as they joined, I add them. Now this little Jill girl, she didn't do anything. She didn't respond to me. She told me she was excited. And I was like, okay, let's do your launch party. She got her kit, never sent me a kit picture, but she set the expectation too. She wasn't willing to partner with me because she wasn't even sending me a picture of her pink box. Same thing with this one. She didn't do anything, but look at the ones that did do it. And so they were excited to get across this finish line. And I didn't say, let's get to that. I said, okay, I want you to sell your first, tell me. And I say to them, tell me when you've sold your first $100. I can look it up myself, right? But tell me when you sold your first 100 because I want to celebrate with you. And so, if you kind of show them, and I would show this to them in kind of like a little, and I stopped doing it. I should have kept doing it, but I showed this to them. I would screenshot it and send it to them and be like, Jen, oh my gosh, you just crossed the finish line. You're right behind Stephanie. Like I would kind of show them that other girls are doing it. Other girls are seeing success, but there's also some girls that aren't. And that's okay too. But if you partner with me, I'm going to help you get across that finish line and earn that $250 paycheck in those 2 free products in your first 30 days. So I think it's kind of showing them that women are doing this. Are you willing? You have to put some effort into it, but if you're willing to do it, I'm willing to support you and help you. So, you can come across a couple of different ways. It depends on how they respond to you. If they say, I need money, then we're going to say, okay, how quickly do you want to make your first 250? If they say, oh, I just really like the products and I thought it would be fun, then I would say, okay, well, let's have fun with your first launch party and get you some free things to add to your kit. So you can't have the same cookie cutter language for every single person. But if you say, what enticed you to join? And she says, I need money. We're going to talk about money. If she says, I need products, we're going to talk about that at Jumpstart. But in the meantime, she's still going to make money, so they're going to earn everything, but you're going to lead the conversation with how she responds to you. Okay, so it's not a cookie cutter. Here's the text. This is what you do. It's like those 4 questions. I don't know if y'all seen these 4 questions in parties. They're great. But if someone says, somebody just died, well, then you can't say, well, do you want to book a party? You have to read their responses, So, okay. That was a long-winded answer. I hope that's helpful.
No, that was good. Those were some
Very
great
much so.
verbiage.
Thank you.
Mhm. And I'm still pushing for Rome. So you just got my wheels spinning of like some things I need to do with the I still got 3 picas that I need.
Okay.
So I got a race to the queue and I just looked at the date and was like in 18 days.
Okay, so this is a great example. Danielle needs 3 girls to Pika in 17 days, 18 days. So what is going to want them to do that? Well, it's what's in it for them. So if you say you've got 2 more days, you've got a couple of ways to approach that. You got 2 more days to make a Christmas paycheck. 31 will never leave us hanging dry in December. So we may have something fun coming up, but you don't want to wait that long. But it could just be, I know a lot of people are not, they're not shopping for gifts right now. They may be shopping for yourself. I just got this in the mail. I ordered this for myself. I'm totally like, y'all got to cut me off. I just got this zipper pouch. And so for January, I'm already thinking ahead of what I'm going to do in January. And so I'm going to really try to get people to think about their New Year's resolutions. So if you tell me that you're going on a diet, I'll say, well, what snacks are you going to have just in case? Or if they tell me that they are wanting to save money, what coupons are you going to have in your car just in case? So I am really focusing, like this has kind of become my thing I'm going to do for January is, what are you going to have on hand just in case? Just in case
We need
you want
some
to save money,
pictures
just in
of
case you
that.
wanna lose
That's
weight.
good.
Okay.
I need some pictures of that.
I just got it, and I thought, what is
Love
it? We're all talking about New Year's resolutions, and for me, I'm like, okay, I want to. Y'all read that book, the Lindsay Teague, from conference, Lindsay Teague
Moreno.
something. What's her last name?
Yes.
Moreno.
Yes.
Yeah.
In her book, she talked about making sure that you are supporting your customers' needs. And so going into the new year, and I forgot where she says it. If y'all have the book, go back and look at it. But if their need is to lose weight, then I'm gonna say, okay, well, what snacks are you got? So I'm gonna do a whole like kind of preparing. So, prepare after Christmas that week. I know we've got other stuff going on, but what are some of the things that you need to have just in case? And maybe it's not this pouch, maybe it's having a zipper pouch for someone else. Jessica's got kids in ball, so this could be your boo-boo bag, your Neosporin and your Band-Aids and all that stuff. So I want them to kick off the year with having the things they need just in case. So that's a whole nother thing, but that's I'm already thinking, how am I going to sell in January when people are broke? Well, you give them a cute little new lunchbox, they're going to lose weight because they're going to want to carry that lunchbox with fresh food in it, right? So I don't know. I'm making that crap up, but
No, that was good. And what's funny, and right now it's 9:03 at 9 o'clock. My Connect training just went, and I talked about how you need to be doing New Year's resolutions now so that they have those things by January 1st, because everybody's setting them January 1st and they want the stuff in their hands.
yeah.
So that's going to be part of your team. Your directors and I are doing a Grinch party, which I'll just let a little out. We have a fun party about Christmas organization and New Year's resolutions, and we're going to work on that for December still, not January.
Good.
Yeah. Yep. So
Well, and the January bundle is that closet organization. The hostess is a like tuck away bins and
yes.
So your New Year's resolution, if it's to get organized, to get rid of stuff, declutter stuff,
Yep.
It's a great host. Like, I'm excited about that one.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, I talked way too much. Danielle, I will send you.
No, it was so good though. We could sit and listen. I'm sure they all would agree. We could sit and listen and listen and listen. You could just keep on talking. But I do want to see if there's any questions. She's talked so much and given us so much stuff. Do you guys have any questions still for her too? And even just share, like, what was your favorite thing? What is your big aha? What's going to be your call to action you're going to do above and beyond what I've given you? What was your really big, like, even if you want to share that in the comments or you want to tell us, go for it. I'd love to hear what really got your wheels just spinning that you got to do. Shannon's saying shop the look. Now, yep. Just mentioned New Year's resolutions to me today. Yep.
I think it was just what I talked about with the not overwhelming new consultants. That was my big aha moment. Danielle, don't forget to take a picture before everybody goes off too.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look, I want to be in the picture. Oh, there's Maria. Take it now.
Hi, sorry I was working, so I just had to listen while everybody was talking.
You are fine. And I know a couple people had to leave already.
Kristen, you're on.
Yeah, I was trying to interact as much.
A couple of people had to leave because they were, like I said, they're on Cindy's call right now. So that's super fun for them too.
Y'all, Cassie, your baby is just like really
adorable. She was waving to us.
I'm just happy.
Any other questions? Anybody else have anything else? Race to the queue. Oh my, yeah, right? Like, there's so many things we can do with that. Yeah, and it doesn't have to always be a trip. There's just a lot of things that we can do that, like, who wants to be part of this? Who wants to be part of this amazing thing that I am going to help you do and make $250 and right, like just all of that verbiage. I know I need to go back and listen to the last half. There's somewhere in my notes I just put go back and listen because I got to like soak in some more of her verbiage. And absolutely, JP, and I've heard it, and I've heard most of it, right? So that just proves, right? Like I'm always telling you guys that, like you've got it. There's nothing wrong with repeating. There's nothing wrong with relearning. Like just like all my trainings that I give you. I know Tammy is one of the. She's to my left on the Zoom, but one of the best students that goes back and literally faithfully is like, yep, I did the bookings training again, and this time I'm going to use this one because I've got 50 things in there for you, right? Like I don't expect you to do all 50 of them. It's a buffet, like Cindy teaches us, but that's the same thing with JP tonight. Like, don't be afraid to go back and listen again while you're doing dishes. Don't be afraid. All the calls that we have, right? Like, go back because you're always going to find something else. So thank you, JP, because I always get something new too.
You're welcome. Well, listen, thank y'all for having me on. I'm going to hop off and let you guys close your meeting, but thank you for letting me be on here. I look forward to seeing you guys at conference next year, hopefully.
Lots of them walking the stage, not just there, but on that stage. Yes, for sure.
I am very approachable. So if you guys have questions, or even if you want an extension of something I talked about, don't be afraid to reach out to me on Facebook or ask Danielle or to come to me. Like, I am an open door. I create an environment that I just welcome everybody. And I hope that you guys will feel that way from me. So enjoy your night. Danielle, close the meeting. I'm going to go over and make sure that
you go ahead. Yep. I do have a couple things I want to
so much.
Yes, thank you, JP. Don't leave yet though, ladies. I do have a couple things I want to share with you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, JP. So just a reminder, don't forget to go watch. It's live, but it's recorded, right? Because I'm here with you. They use that like what's it called? OneDrive or whatever. So it looks like it's live. That feed that, it's a paid thing you can do. Because it goes hand in hand with this, you guys. Like it's nothing earth shattering. It's a lot of it is repeat. I talk about the bulk of it, I talk a lot about climbing the mountain versus sliding down the mountain. You guys know that's one of my big things, but I definitely gave some tips and tricks, like let's keep working our business this month. So you do want to watch it for that because it's got some things and it's short. It's like 15 minutes or something like that. But I kind of mentioned a little bit something that I just want you guys to hear first, those of you that are here also, is that your directors and I are kind of working on what this is going to look like, but this is kind of what we've come up with is another leader has shared this really, really cute Grinch script. And the graphics and the things that go with it are just adorable. And so the idea with the script so far is that it's not too late for them to get their Christmas storage stuff, right? Because a lot of us, I don't know about you guys, ours stays up till New Year's. And I know there's some people that are like, ours is done Christmas Day and the day after. Well, if you're that sinking quick, you probably got stuff to organize you already. Let's be honest, right? Like, I mean, maybe not. It doesn't mean it might not appeal to her and she still can go up in the attic and go organize something, right? But majority of us, we keep it up till New Year's. We enjoy it while the kids are home from break and all of those things, right? So there's no reason she can't be ordering that stuff. And I don't want to guarantee because that's a big promise, but I feel pretty strongly that it's going to be for her, be here for her after Christmas, pretty close, right? Because our shipping's been pretty phenomenal lately. They're doing a great job. But we want to add to that, one of the things that Shannon and I were talking about, and like I said, I talked about in this Connect call that you want to go watch, is that you want to start getting them thinking about New Year's resolutions now. Because again, they're used to Amazon Prime. They're used to January 1st. I set the resolution and I've got it on my mind and I'm going to sign up for this diet program right now. And I'm going to sign up at this gym right now. Right. And they're going to do all the things. And if their bag or whatever's organizing they're doing isn't showing up till the end of the month, it might be whatever for them. Right. So we're going to add as much of that in there into this party as we can too. So with that said, what does this look like? If you've been a new consultant, I'm going to say probably in the past 3 months and you've launched with us, most of us are going to try plopping this party right in your launch. That's one of the things that we've talked about. Okay, so we're going to put that back in that launch party for those girls. Or if you've got girls that you are wanting to peak us still, or you're just still trying to help, it's going to go in there. We are going to offer, I'm going to offer, and your directors are going to help me, a giant mega party for those that want to be part of it. For those of you on this call, you're going to have a choice. It's not that I don't want you part of the mega party, because Lord knows you guys know how to comment and make the algorithms go up and do all the things. But if I were you, I would take the script that I'm going to give you and just do it right in your customer group. And you do what you want to do with that, whether you want to spread it out for a few days, whether you want to show up for an hour one night with this party, whatever you want to do. And you might want to do both too. You might want to invite some of your top customers and send some messages out, and they can come to the mega party, but you're also putting it in your customer group. That's probably what I'm going to do, because if I'm being super duper honest, I probably don't have time to send a ton of the messages out for the mega party, but I have my top contributors and some different people that I think I could, probably get them to go to it. And maybe my club members, right? If you've got clubs, just kind of think about some of those people. Current parties, if you kept any of your parties open, not all of my parties closed by December 10th, right? And so if you got any parties open, they would be great for it. So it's up and coming, it's happening real soon. I'm going to be getting stuff up for it. Like I said, this person who shared some great graphics and verbiage already. We're just kind of trying to tweak it and see what we can't figure out what to add to it. And then also, if you saw right before you got on this call, one other thing I want to drop is there's a new event I just made on the team page, or on the lineage page rather, the Dazzling Diamonds. Yeah, and this is a fun new thing. Even my directors don't know what the heck I'm talking about with this, because I've not told them yet. This is Team Party Week. And this idea was presented to me by some upper level leaders also, who do this every year, and it's pretty genius. And it's just a way, instead of us having a booking blitz that says like we're booking for January and February and March and all the things that we always do, not that those don't work and they're not fun, but this is a specific week that we are all trying to party. And I can't tell you any dates, and I don't know anything, but JP alluded that sometimes the end of our month is fun, and that's all I'm going to say. And those dates don't necessarily match that, because I don't know everything either, but it's in line. So this party that we're doing at the end of December and into a little bit of January, it goes along with that 3-2-1. You guys heard us talk about that a little bit, having 3 parties at the beginning of the month, 2 at the end of the month, and 1 in the beginning of January. So we're kind of overlapping, but it's that same thing. And I just think it's a fun thing to do. Last year, was it just last year? Shannon, boy, you might have to remember for me. I know last year for sure, I partied during Christmas, and I have never in my life done that. And I don't even think the year before I had actually partied after Christmas, but maybe 1 year prior. And real quick, and then I'll let you guys go, because I know this has been long, but I will tell you, last December and last January were the biggest months in my career to this date still that I have ever had. And they were in a row. And I don't know, again, don't quote me, but there was like a 2-week span of like basically the end of December into the beginning of January that I think I actually hold the record of like a 2-week span, the most money that anyone's ever made. I think that's what Mark Carr had told me, like the most PB that anyone's ever done. Although there's someone who just beat me, because she just had 43,000 in November. But I had like 20,000 in December and 20,000 in January, and a bulk of that was in this like 2-week time. And so the party over Christmas, which I'm not asking you guys to do, but I want to throw this to you guys only. This isn't something I would tell all of the team to do, but I know some of you really want to work your business. What I did is I started it around the 22nd or the 23rd. And I did my normal like pre-post day and a day of posts. And then the 24th and the 25th, I didn't do all of the posts. I played like a game or two, and they were very Christmas related, right? And there was definitely just a great Merry Christmas post. And what are you doing? What are some of your traditions, right? Some of those engaging type of posts, and maybe some little game, knowing that big fun extra thing we were going to have was coming right after Christmas. And so, oh gosh, I hope I didn't just freeze on you guys. Can you hear me okay? Am I good? Okay, because my internet just said it was weird. And those were the biggest parties. I mean, I not only was it a great month for me, but it was a great month for my hostesses. Like I legitimately had almost all of my hosts hit $1,000 party because of that fun thing that we have hopefully coming after Christmas. And it's a myth that people don't have money to spend on themselves right now. Like, it is such a myth. And don't get me wrong, there's always going to be people, right? Like, I don't care if it's July 1st, I don't care if it's February 1st, you're also always going to have people who don't have money to spend. Like, I'm not dismissing that some people are overspent and some people are very Dave Ramsey and they won't spend. And like, you're always going to have those people though, right? This sweater I am wearing was a Black Friday spend on myself when I was supposed to be Christmas shopping for my girls, right? Like, who else is guilty? I mean, come on, right? Like, yes, these earrings, same thing. I just ordered from a Swarovski party for myself, got some for the girls for their stockings, but I got myself a pair too. So that is a myth. Don't stop telling yourselves that, because they're not. In fact, even if you're frugal, like, I'm a huge coupon shopper. This is when I shop. You guys, I actually know that I save money for myself every year in December to spend, to save, right? Knowing that the rest of the year I don't spend. Now, everyone is different, but I see Jessica like shaking her head. Like, there are so many of us that this is just, it's so true. And so that fun thing at the end of the month, it's a frugal person's excitement, because they save. That's all I can say, right? And I really don't know details, and I really don't know for sure that it's coming or not coming, but 31 has alluded to it enough on our director's calls and different things that we feel pretty safe to say it. So those are some things for you, but you do have a break. You have nothing coming homework wise until Friday. So try hard to keep, get caught up. Some of you are really close to being caught up. And know that this repeats. That's the last thing I'm going to leave with you guys. So we've got week 6, 7, and 8 still to post. And no one expected you to be a director in those first 8 weeks. Some of you we knew were at the brink and it would be amazing, but no one expects that. And you shouldn't expect that of yourself either. Like, you should hope for that, and you should push for that, and you should dream for that. But you guys know the whole meaning of shoot for the moon is you shoot for the moon, and if you land in the stars, you're still winning. And my hope for you at the end of the 8 weeks is that you've moved forward. And JP said it beautifully, that I don't want it to just be the numbers and the stats that I look at. Those are key. Those are important. I would love for you to say, yes, I've gotten more connected contacts. Yes, I've gotten more parties. Yes, I've gotten more sales and recruits. But I also hope that you just can be like, wow, in the last 20 years of my life, I've never trained for anything like this, right? Who of you might just say that, right? In the last year of my life, I've not read a book, and now I've actually been doing these trainings, right? Like, there's so many other things. That's just one little thing that popped into my brain, but there's so many other things that I hope you're gaining from this program, and know that it hits repeat. Okay, and we're going to invite some of your recruits if they're ready to go, and you all are going to be in it, and you're just going to redo that homework, and it's going to be that much easier. But just like we talked about, you're going to go back and you're going to get more, and you're going to do it over, and hopefully you're just going to keep moving forward and keep the pendulum going, and just keep, going. So any other questions? I know that was a lot. And I know it was a long one, but I don't know about you guys, but I could have listened to JP. Like, she could said she just was going to talk for 3 hours, and I just been like, I'm not going to bed. Good stuff. Yes. Okay. I don't see anything. I have not gotten my new phone. So I literally cannot listen to Marco's even. It gives me an error. And I know I'm behind on some of you guys' Marco's. I know. I can listen to voice recordings, which is weird. I can't send voice recordings. So if you've Marco'd me and you're like, gosh, I just really need her to know this, then send me a voice recording with some of it. Yeah, they told me maybe by Wednesday at the latest. So I'm hoping my phone comes soon. It's killing me. Myra got her wisdom teeth out today, and I couldn't even take calls. I had to go back. I had to keep running it back into the office.
Danielle, do you have any idea when they might let you know for certain if this thing is going to happen?
No, and I actually asked that this weekend because I said, okay, the shipping deadline is over. When do we get to know, just so we can start planning with our teams? I don't. I just can tell you that generally speaking, it's after Christmas. And it runs through January, and I don't know that even for sure. So that's why we just kind of did party week the way we did. Worst case scenario, I think JP nailed it, that January's $500 level party organization stuff, I think is amazing. Like, not that this month isn't great. They want to close this month too. But that's super fun. So no, I don't know. I know nothing Nothing. I wish I did.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
When, and we have a,
We have a call tomorrow.
I was gonna say, we have a leadership
Yeah.
call coming up
So we
soon.
might know. I would like to think maybe that we will know tomorrow, but I can't even promise you
Right.
that. Yep.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for arranging this too. This was so beneficial. And it was just, like I said, it was just a light bulb moment for me when she talked
I'm
about
watching this
being
one again.
overwhelmed. Yeah, me too, because I mean, I got distracted with the dog and texts and all
I
other
just
stuff
didn't even
coming
get
in. And
distracted. I just I couldn't write fast enough. She had some great verbiage and some great ideas, even for what I'm doing with new consultants, that I was just like, oh my gosh, yes. Like Shannon and I, and some of us have been talking about how we can still perfect our onboarding. And she just had some great tips that I'm like, oh, yep, we're going to be rearranging some things that I'm doing. So that
Yeah.
even your leaders, we're always learning too. Yeah, right. We're always trying to learn and evolve too. So, okay. I won't keep you any longer. I want to go back and watch my live. I never watch my videos, you guys, and I'm going to go watch it. I never, ever, ever do. I don't. I just hit record and I just submit it. Like I never do them over and I never listen. I know some actors are like that, right? Like they won't watch their own movies. I'm kind of like that. I don't ever go back, but I'm going to go watch this one because I want to see what people say and comment. And so I'm looking forward to you guys' comments on it too. Beef me up whether you like it or not, right? Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.